Here we are then, part 3, and we're still not even halfway through. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this, another part of November's question mark. As I said in the intro, we're not even halfway through these questions yet, so it would not surprise me in the slightest, if there was 5 parts of this. Honestly, it's a scary thought. You guys seem to be enjoying them. 800 and 600 views respectively in the first 2 parts. That's nice to know. That's good. So, should we get on with it? Because, like I say, we've got a lot to go. So, John Balderson says something. Sorry, I put my computer onto power saver mode. I thought that'd be a good idea. Not really. Yeah, John Balderson says, what storyline or public stunts damaged the WWE the most? Keep up the good vids. Cheers for that. Now, my first thought is the Owen Hart tragedy, where Owen Hart was tragically killed. But at the end of the day, you've got to look at it objectively. And with that one, the ratings didn't exactly go down off it, did they? If anything, ratings continued to go up at the same rate throughout the whole of '99, didn't they? And of course, then WWE had its most successful year ever in the year 2000. It's so that one sure doesn't count. My thinking, I don't know if people would agree with this. Please let me know if you do. My thinking would be the steroid scandal of the early 1990s. That you went over all 380s. You got these absolutely enormous guys, and people saying they must be roided up, and the WWF saying no, they weren't. No, it's fine. And Hogan going on that show that I can't remember what it's called, and saying that he doesn't do steroids, and it was proved that it was all a load of shit, and everyone was doing the roids. That hurt the company so bad. The ratings plummeted. Granted, the storylines weren't great at the time, but the ratings really suffered for it, and it took them a long time to get them back, didn't it? So it's that for me is the one that hurt the company the most, in my humble opinion. TNA is shite. That's the closest we got to a troll question on this one, and it's also a question that you just like. It's one of those. It's one of those questions that when you look at it, you go, why would anyone want to know that? But there he goes. If you and Lisa had a wrestling role-play night between the sheets and not in the ring, giggity, who would you dress as? It's like, I have no idea. Because that's not the type of. I don't want to go into too much detail, obviously, with our sex life, but why would it? That's not the type of thing we do. We don't do dressing up role plays, anything like that. But it's like I say, it's why would anyone want to know that one? Honestly, to answer your question, TNA is shite. I have no idea. It's something I've honestly never given any thought to whatsoever. Mr. Dobby33 says, "Hey Mark, if you were to name your favourite pay-per-view this year so far, what would it be?" So, to help with this one, I've gone and checked my ratings for each of the pay-per-views, and out in the lead is Payback, which I remember being a good show. So this year, so far, it's Payback. William Rose. Oh, man, here we go. "Hi, Mark. I've been a huge fan for a few years now. I don't always agree with your opinions on wrestling shows, but I always like hearing different opinions than my own. Now, before we go on, let's just say, if everyone agreed with the opinions that I gave on videos, YouTube and life itself would just be very, very dull, wouldn't it? I have no problem if anyone disagrees with my opinions. I'd be happy if everyone disagreed with my opinions. To be honest, it'd be great. If you've got a different opinion to me, please say so in the comments. And the thing is, tell me why. Don't just go, this was, you're wrong on this one, and then just leave it at that. You've got to justify it, And that's sort of the thing is, if you can do that for me, that's all good. I like to give constructive criticism when I do, especially British wrestling reviews. I don't just go, this was shit. If I think something was shit, I'll say, I didn't like this, and this is why. All right. That way, if say it's a British match, especially, the people taking on can hopefully take that on board. If they choose to ignore me, that's also completely fine. Because at the end of the day, I'm just giving out an opinion. At the end of the day, everyone's got an opinion, and everyone else is wrong in my opinion. No, I'm joking. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion, and that at the end of the day is why we do these vids, don't we? Because we want to give out an opinion, and people like yourself want to hear my opinion. Anyway, your point is, my question is, a while back in a video of yours, you said you didn't want to say what your opinion was with the Raw is Owen show because you were afraid it would make people mad. I wanted to really know what your opinion was on it. I enjoyed the show and thought it was a good tribute to the man and wrestler. Thanks. This is from William Rose. I don't know if I said that. Here we go. The Raw is Owen show. I've always never wanted to talk about this one because I was worried about how much heat, if I got any heat for it. Basically, my deal with the Roy Owen show is it was a great tribute to a great man. It's hard to not get choked up watching a show like that when you've got people like Jeff Jarrett, who was his tag team partner in absolute tears, and you've got Edge, and you've got Deborah, and you've got loads of people talking openly, honestly, about how they felt about Owen. My problem with the Rory Owen show, and yeah, if you don't like me after this, you're entitled to that. I didn't like how it ended with Austin giving the toast to Owen, because Austin had said after Survivor Series, which I've just reviewed, in case you're wondering, he would never work with Owen again. And it always bothered him that Owen never apologised afterwards or never got in touch. If you watch the Austin DVD, Brett said that he tried to get Owen to call just to say, look, how are you doing? And Owen never did. And Austin always said that he'd never work with Owen again after that. And one of the things on that show is it's Austin doing a toast to Owen. And it's like, it's one of those things that it's probably that no one else would even give it a second thought. But it's just one of those, but of all people to be doing that, why him? I understand he was the face of the company at the time, so of course you've got to have him doing it. But you could have gone out and had Rock doing exactly the same thing in the exact same role, but they didn't. All right, and that's what it is. It's not that I don't like the show. It's just. It's one of those things that I probably shouldn't let bother me as much as it does. And if you just let it go, like, oh yeah, it was great. And oh, look at Austin giving him the toast. That's really nice. But of all people to do it, I just think Austin was the wrong choice for person to be given a salute like that. But, it's one of those things that, I said that at the time. It's one of those things. I watched the Rory Owen show about a month ago now. And I think since I actually mentioned that on a vid, that I think my opinion might have lessened a bit. Or I'm just saying this now because I don't want to get hated. Notice I'm not even looking into the camera. Because it's one of those things. It's one of those things I don't ever go out intentionally looking for heat, Anyway, let's talk about something else. So I hope that answers your question. Ryan Malwini, I hope that's said right, sorry. Explain your Spinnernet story. Would love to see you rant about him. Spinnernet. Right. I never thought Spinnernet made good videos. Ever made good videos, because his vids were him making a point, and then he'd say the point again, and then he'd say the point a third time, and that's your vid. And it's like, so make your vids a third of, your vids could have 2/3 of them taken off, and you'd still get the same point. Now, I understand I make long ass vids. Look at the video you're watching, for example. But the thing with Spinnernet is, it always bothered me, right, that if you disagreed with him, he would block you. So it's if you don't agree with my opinion, then you're wrong. And that's one of the worst qualities in people that there is. Surely, there's got to be that if I'm right, you're wrong. And if you don't agree with me, then you're wrong. And I'm going to block you for saying your mind or for speaking your mind. And he blocks so many people, myself included. Now, I'm not bitter or anything about being blocked, but the fact that I just gave an opinion is fucking ridiculous. I don't block people if I can help it. You really have to push me to block you nowadays. But there are certain people that my thinking is, right, this guy's been bothering me for a while. And this can be on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, anywhere. If I block them, I don't ever have to give them another thought. So then they don't. Basically, the moment you click that block button, unless you actually go seeking them out, they are done to you. They don't exist. If you then go onto someone's channel looking for what they've said about you, that's a different story, isn't it? Which, you're mad if you do something like that, but I've heard of it. I really have, Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is I try not to block people if I can help it at the end of the day. Spinnernet seemed to make it a fucking hobby to block people. The amount of people that he blocked was unbelievable. And the other thing about Spinnernet is, he had so many subscribers, and I'm not allowed to talk about how much money I make off YouTube, but I know the amount that I make compared to the amount of views that, if you compare the amount of views that I get, compared to his, if you take what I make, and, if he's got 10 times as many subscribers and gets 10% more, 10 times, as many views, then you must surely get the income that I make and times it by 10. And then you just get this staggering amount of money. But he never upgraded his camera. You know, I know that's a small little thing, but I mean, you're watching me in HD at the moment, if you so choose. If you click below, you can watch me in HD. I don't know if it makes any difference to your viewing pleasure, but you have that option. Over the years, I've upgraded my camera again and again and again and again. You know? Spinnernet always used to have this shitty little webcam that made his vids and sound quality atrocious, really poor. But all that pales into insignificance because he did that vid where he did the e-begging, begging people to donate money to him so that he could buy a new car or he could get his car repaired. I forget which. It was something to do with his car. And it's just one of those, what I said at the time, I did a vid, I think it was the first vid on my last channel. So, I mean, that's how long ago it was, 2010, something like that. And, you know, he's got all these DVDs behind him, all this wrestling stuff. And it's that if you need the car so badly, shouldn't you be selling those first and then coming online and saying, right, here's the deal. I need $700, for argument's sake, right? I've sold $400 worth of wrestling stuff, so I'm halfway there. Can you help me out? I don't think I'd have as much of a problem with that as coming online and saying, I need $1,000, pay up, bitches. You know, because that's just not fair. Remember what I said? On, I think it was part 1, I was talking about the worst part about being on YouTube and people feeling that you owe them stuff. Well, isn't that just coming right? I've entertained you for years, give me money. And that's not right. We do this by choice. The fact that you people watch us, YouTube shooters, as we were known as back in the day, yeah, that should be gratitude enough. That's the fact that someone has taken the time out of their day to watch me talking crap about a wrestling show that happened a decade ago. That'll do me. If someone clicks on my ad, fucking all the better, isn't it? That's a bonus. You know, but asking the people, and what terrified me is that how many people donated $100, which is a sizable amount of money. You know, he doesn't do vids anymore, I've been told. I don't care about Smith. He used to think I was obsessed with him, which is so far from the truth. It's not even funny. But yeah, Spinnernet was a knob, a complete and utter, the worst part about YouTube. And of course, right, one more thing about Spinnernet before we go on, because you know, this is the type of thing I've ranted for 10 minutes about. Excuse me, is that once he was in a position a couple of years ago that Sean's View Entertainment's in now, and that is that he is the face of the YWC. He represented all of us at the time and just did stupid shit to make himself look crap. And you know, you would make a vid, and I still do this to this day. I make a vid that I put a lot of love and heart and energy and dedication and my soul into, and it gets 600 views. And then Sean fucking goes online and looks at a dirt sheet, does a vid about it, and gets 10,000 views. If he's no, he doesn't, does he? Because he makes so many vids, that doesn't happen. But he gets so many views, sorry. And you just watch these vids going, why would anyone be interested in this? Obviously, I have a bias towards my own vids, but come on. Right, do you think we've talked about that one long enough? I do. Philip Connolly says, there you are, there's me ranting about Spinnernet for ages. I hope that was good enough. Philip Connolly says, Mark, do you believe that in 2014 a match between Hulk Hogan and John Cena will be plausible? I, for one, am dreaming of Sting versus Taker, but yeah, lol. Don't know why you've put that on the end, I must confess. But yeah, lol. But yeah. Sorry, I'm teasing. I don't think that would happen at all. I mean, if Hogan's got one more match left in him, which, I mean, I'm sure he thinks he has because, you know, he's had all his surgery and that. I mean, I don't want to see Hogan in a match ever again if I can help it. If Hogan is going to be part of WrestleMania 30, for example, I've got no objection to that. He was part of the first WrestleMania, you know, he deserves that. He wasn't at WrestleMania 20, so, you know, can't have any objections to that. But, I mean, a match, no. I really hope that they're going to do Cena versus Undertaker, but I'm hearing Lesnar versus Undertaker. Today I've heard that one. Someone's told me that the reason they're taking Paul Heyman off TV is so that he can come back with Brock Lesnar for a feud with the Undertaker. So it's like, oh, well, we're not going to get that one then, are we? So, next, George Murray. What is the most disappointing pay-per-view of all time? It certainly doesn't have to be the worst, just one that emphatically, you put that in to fucking confuse me, didn't you? Emphatically failed to deliver on the hype and the high expectation. Do you know, the first one that comes into my head is WrestleMania 18. Because think about it, the year before, at WrestleMania 17, you had one of the best shows ever, and while the WWF was not at its height in 2002, it was still doing all right. And then you had WrestleMania 18 that was just shit. It's one of those things where everyone remembers Rock versus Hogan, don't you? And you go back and watch it now and just go, it's not that good a match. On the night, you go, this is the greatest match I've ever seen. But the rest of the card is so poor that you're just like, whoa, is that it? And of course, 19 was a very, very good show the year after. So you look at the one in between is just pants. So yeah, that's the one that springs to mind off the top of my head. Peter O'Hara says, do you think the YWC/IWC is dead or dying? And if so, why do you think that is? And when do you think it started to happen? YWC dying? Bruce Blitz has 15,000 subscribers, I think. Sean's View Entertainment has more than that, doesn't he? I really don't think it's dying at all. Bruce Blitz is an interesting one, right? I don't actually have an opinion on this guy. I've never watched one of his vids. I don't know if he's a nice guy, if he's a bad guy, whatever. But one of the things that I can say, I typed that. I say Bruce Blitz. Bruce Blitzed, isn't it? Something like that. I say him because I saw your question and went and checked. Like, come on, who's the biggest name? Who's the big name? Who's the one that comes up over and over again? That guy, right? And I'm not saying, I don't have an opinion of him, so I'm not dissing him. I'm not dissing him per se. But I noticed his Raw review from last week was 2.5 hours long. And I'm sat there looking at it going, right, damn, I know I do long-ass reviews, and I'm always trying to cut my review times down, and of course I always fail miserably with that, as you can probably tell. But 2.5 hours when Raw, especially if you take out the adverts of an episode of Raw, Raw is 2 hours and 15 minutes long. How anyone can listen to a review that's that long, I have no idea. But also, that wasn't a one-off. All his wrestling vids are that long, to the point where I'm thinking of actually watching one just to see why they're that long. But I also don't have 2.5 hours to listen to someone talking about wrestling. I can watch a whole show in that time. Oh man, that was a weird one. The IWC is alive and well. Seriously, it really is. The YWC quality-wise isn't as good as it used to be, in my opinion. As someone who's a pioneer, am I a pioneer? I've been here a long time, so I've seen everything. And I mean, God, the YWC just feels these days like it's a load of people all saying the same thing. I've felt that for so many years. It sometimes feels to me that there are people out there who will watch a wrestling show, they'll then wait to see a review of it, and then they'll upload a review because they want to make sure that their opinion sounds the same as the rest of the YWC. That's what I'll say. But dying, nah. My subscribers may reflect that it's dying because we sure as hell struggle to get them. No one seems to ever want to subscribe to me anymore, apart from you good people, of course, who are watching this one now. But no, I don't think it's dying. I think it's fine at the moment. I really do. Next. Taylor Jarman says, hey Mark, congratulations on 1,300 subs. It's cool if you don't know the answer to this, but I can't figure this one out. Was Vince McMahon's WrestleMania 2000 heel turn planned for a long time, or was it a last-minute decision to add some shock value? It doesn't make much sense when you consider he was feuding with Triple H in 1999, then suddenly becomes allies a couple of months later. Thanks for looking at my question, and here's that elusive 1,500 subscribers in 2014. Cheers, one dude. Now, the interesting thing you got there is you are right, they were feuding. Sometimes wrestling just doesn't make sense, does it? Sometimes the thing is, I think when it's positions of power, I think heels aligning with each other. Let's look at 2001, right? No Way Out, you had Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. 2 out of 3, three stages of hell match, wasn't it? It was fantastic, match for the ages. I loved it. My rating reflected that when I reviewed it as part of my 10 years ago series, which is available now on my old channel, of course. Don't forget. But at WrestleMania, Austin turns heel, so that at Backlash, you've got Austin and Triple H teaming up together. Which at No Way Out, you would have said, right, by the way, in 2 months' time, these two will be headlining the main event, but they'll be teaming up together, and they'll be completely fine with that. They won't be arguing about it. It's not like they're forced together. They're completely cool with it. You would have gone, fuck off. So, in the later stages of 99, when you had Vince versus Triple H, if you just said, at WrestleMania, he's going to turn on, on The Rock, team up with them, you would have gone, bollocks. No, that'd be fucking stupid. So it's one of those things. I think it was pre-planned. I mean, you are right. It didn't make sense, but a lot of things in wrestling don't make sense, and we just go, meh, fuck it, it's wrestling, isn't it? Andrew T says, "It's an interesting one. What do you think about Survivor Series? What top 4 things do you think about first? I think about The Undertaker debuting, Piper not having a clue what a tombstone is, what a pinhead. I think of Brett and Shawn's first WWF match in 1992, Survivor Series 97, how good Austin and Bert, and you put Bert instead of Brett, dude. So, I'm sorry, but I think of Bert and Shawn's first WWF Championship in 92, Survivor Series 97, how good Austin and Bert's first match was." Bert Hart. Hey, Bert. And Taker beating Hogan in 2002. Well, you've just ticked off the whole list, haven't you, really? Survivor Series is one of those ones where it's part of the Big Four, but it hasn't felt like one of the Big Four for a long, long time. I think the one that I've just reviewed, which is 2003, I think that was the last one that really felt like a special pay-per-view. That's because Austin's job was on the line. I think every Survivor Series since has just been the Survivor Series. I mean, it's one of those shows where they could get rid of the name, and I don't think it's one of those things. They tried to get rid of the name a couple of years ago, and there was outrage. But at the same time, it's one of I was one of those people who went, and a lot of the pay-per-views changed the name. I think I've already said this on the Q&A, haven't I? As long as the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania say the same, SummerSlam, those are still big shows. Whereas Survivor Series, Survivor Series doesn't even come close on prestige level to those anymore, does it? It's just another show. You, my friend Andrew T, have covered. You've covered all the bases there, haven't you? The Undertaker debuting is a classic thing. Piper not having a clue what the tombstone was. I don't really remember that one. I remember a lot of people don't like the fact that Gorilla knew what a tombstone was, despite the fact that the tombstone was named a tombstone before Undertaker started using it. Not many people know that one, believe it or not. Bert and Shawn's first match was for the IC title in 92. Stunning match, forgotten classic in my opinion. Survivor Series 97. I've just reviewed it on this channel, just in case you were wondering. The one you mentioned though is my one. And Austin and Bert's match at Survivor, their first match, that was at Survivor Series 1996. That was one hell of a match. Absolutely stunning match. Absolutely stunning. So yeah. That's how I think of the Survivor Series. Survivor Series could go tomorrow. I don't think in the long run, I don't think anyone cares. There'll be outrage for a while and just be like, saying that, I say that, how many people in this day and age, 10 years after there was a pay-per-view of it, still demand the return of the King of the Ring pay-per-view? And so they got rid of that one. There was outrage. There's people still talking about it, but life goes on, doesn't it? Shan 45334. Got 2 questions. This is something I didn't say, 1 question per person. So actually, the majority of you were very, very good and only put 1 question, but there was a few that slipped through. So, hi Mark, my 2 questions are this. Do you support WWE's attempt to bring Goldberg for a match with Ryback at WrestleMania? Would you book a confrontation between Lesnar and Goldberg at Mania to hype a future match? Or would you cut a confrontation between Lesnar and Goldberg? Goldberg did not enjoy his time in the WWE at all. In his 1-year run was not a good run for him. It wasn't particularly memorable, and that of course was all Triple H's fault in my opinion. They had the chance at SummerSlam 2003, which I've reviewed on this channel, by the way. If you're wondering, you might be new to my vid. Shut up. People might be watching this going, "What's he on about? Oh, he's done reviews. I'd like to see the review of that." Shut up, moaning. Yeah, they had the perfect chance to put the championship on him. Perfect. People were clamouring for it. Everyone in the arena knew. I've said on my review, we were watching at home going, Goldberg's winning the championship tonight. Everyone in that arena, Goldberg's winning the championship tonight. Apart from Triple H going, no, it's going to happen next time. Stupid. I can't see. If they are trying to bring, if they are trying to bring him back, that's news to me, by the way. If they are trying to bring him back, there's no way they boo Goldberg, so they're going to have to keep Ryback heel. And no one, just lost to Kofi Kingston this week on Raw. No one cares about Ryback in the slightest. He's obviously doing something wrong backstage. Excuse me a second, what is that? I think I've got a bite on my tummy. If it happens, it happens, but I wouldn't be surprised. Even at WrestleMania 30, I can't see Goldberg coming back. Confrontation with Lesnar, if you want to. there's unfinished business, I believe, between those two, obviously, because of the match at WrestleMania 20. The other question is, says, back in 2008, 2009, I remember the feud you had with haters. My question is, how did it end? Was it the case of you ignoring them once and for all, or did they just get bored and end it? I think, to be honest, Shan, it was a combination of the two. I actually can't put a date on when all this finished. It was at its high in 2009 when we were doing UBW. The haters seemed like going out of their way to get rid of my backyard fed. They did everything in their power, and they won in the end, because while UBW is still out there, you just have to know where to look for it, which means that people don't ever see it. Does that make sense? You know, it's still out there, still quite easily accessible. You just need to use your mind to look for it, you know. Don't go on YouTube, go on Dailymotion, where it all is. But the fact is, I think it's a combination of the two. I think after me and the haters have gone so far, I've said this. The thing is that it wasn't much fun at the time. The thing is, I now look back at it and go, yeah, that was actually quite a bit of fun, because I don't know. There can be times where you just go on a rant on someone on the internet and just go rah, and it feels good, you know. It can feel really, really great to just get it all out your system. At the same time, you look at it and go, God, that was immature. No, the thing that the haters did me a favour at the time, because think about it, they pushed the bar so far that there is nothing now that a hater can say or do to me that will affect me at all. I mean, there is nothing. I mean, I forget who it was, and if you're watching this now, I'm sorry I'm not giving you the credit you deserve, but someone made their YouTube background a picture of my missus. They got a picture of my missus off Facebook and put it there, and I went fucking ballistic with them. I was so angry that someone would do this. And of course you go, rah, and then you just stop and go, hang on a second, but if I didn't want people to see that picture, I wouldn't have put it on the internet. So why do I care? And it was from that moment, it just goes, oh, yeah, I suppose. So then when that same person put a picture of my mother-in-law as their background, you just go, oh, come on, you've done that one already. You got your action. Now it's just like, oh, well done. I think it's a combination. I didn't block anyone or anything. I just went, all right, if that's what you want to do it, please do it. But you're not getting a rise out of me anymore. You won't get a reaction. You won't get a reply. You'll get nothing. So I think at the same time, a lot of these haters, there was a lot in the YWC, and I think they all just went away. That's what it felt like to me. All of them, Ric Flair fucking socks and all that, just went. And the thing is that I think since then, every so often, someone will come along. There's a guy at the moment, I think his name's Matthew Jones, keeps sending me messages on Facebook calling me a dick, and will occasionally put comments on my vids, and you just look at him, and the first thing that you think is, dude, you are trying way too hard. Way, way too hard to be like them, to do what they were doing. The thing is, they've already done all of it. You know, this guy's taking pictures of, I don't know who the guy is, but making them into vids and saying, and doing things with them. It's like, come on, guys were doing that years ago, years and years and years and years ago. You know, I don't really know. I don't really know how. It's an interesting one. Haters, don't forget, gave me a lot of views. You know, if you're going to comment on my vid 5 times, then you're going to have to click the refresh button 4 times, and that gives me 5 views, and that's a good thing. One time, I remember having a lot of haters blocked. This was not on my old channel, the one before. I remember having a lot of them blocked, so they couldn't comment, and just went in one fell swoop. I unblocked all of them in one go, you know, and just said, right, open game, do what you got to do. And at that time, it was just my vids were just flooded with shit, just utter shit, and you just go, wow, these people really fucking hate me. That was something I could never understand about haters. It's one of those things I've never been able to grasp. Maybe it's just because I'm a very logical person at heart, but I've never been able to grasp why anyone would hate someone so much and then watch their videos. And you know, the thing is, these guys weren't just skipping through. There was things that I said at certain points that they were referencing back. So at least one of them had to have been watching the whole vid. And for me, it's just torture. You know, if you don't like broccoli, don't eat broccoli, because you won't like it. If you don't like watching EastEnders, don't then sit there watching EastEnders going, I fucking hate this. You know, just choose not to do it. That's the type of person I am. If I don't like something, I don't do it if I can help it. You know? So I don't. To answer the question, because I've just rambled on again, I really think it was a bit of both. I think it was it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, I think is the saying. I think a combination of ignoring them. A lot of them, actually, I've just had a thought. There's 2 or 3 now that actually watch my vids now and aren't addicted to me. And they've either grown up or they went away from YouTube for a few years. There's a guy called Mike Hunt who used to terrorise my vids and now sends me respectful messages, puts nice comments. And you think, well, that wasn't too hard, was it? Yeah, that's cool. And one day he might turn heel on me like they used to. Oh my God, do you remember how the YWC? Just right, answer me this one in the comments, please, below. Do the YWC? Because you've got to remember, I'm subscribed to 4 or 5 members of the YWC. I don't care about the YWC at all. It's only certain people like Wrestling Jesus who entertain the fuck out of me that I watch, right? Do the YWC members still form groups like the NWO and say they're going to take over YouTube? And then you sit and watch them going, all right then, off you go. Because I remember, like, people would make groups like the NWO Black and White, and they'd say they're going to take over the YWC, and then you just look at them going, off you go then, take me over. And nothing happened. And they would do this again and again and again. And then they turn heel on someone or they turn face on someone. And you just look at it, especially now, you look at, just get in the business. If it means so much to you doing this, cutting promos on someone. Ridiculous. I've never understood why anyone will cut a promo in the YWC unless they're going to do something about it. Isn't a promo meant to make you want to watch a match? Isn't that what promo exists to do? Isn't that its primary function, is is to make you, the viewer, want to see a match? So if fucking Spinning It, just throwing a name out there, cuts a promo on me, you're going to go, well, I want to see those 2 fight. Oh, wait, one lives in England, one lives in America. Stupid. Such a stupid place. The YWC. 2 more, and then we're going to leave it. All right. Ace says, someone who reviews wrestling on the quality of matches, can you enjoy something like $5 wrestling? Answer, I don't know what $5 wrestling is. So if you could let me know in the comments, that would be great. And then lastly, Sean Kane says, just wondering, when you do commentary for British wrestling, are you told what to say, like WWE commentators are, or can you say what you want? Now, so to answer that one, Sean, is that I don't get told anything, is the truth. Obviously, I can't swear, and I can't give away, if I know the match result, I can't give away things like that. One of the things I like to do is if there's a battle royal, I'll turn to my partner and say, so who you'll pick for this one? And they'll pick one. I'll deliberately pick one that I know isn't going to win. I don't know if that affects it at all. But, that's something I like to do. I like to get in touch with the promoter and just say, right, is there anything you want me to stress on the thing? So if there's a particular storyline going in, I like to know from the promoter where he wants it to go. So but the thing is, you remember, I make on average of half a page of A4 per match of notes. Just as much information as you can throw out, because there'll be times in matches, it doesn't happen in every match, but there'll be times in matches where it'll go a bit quiet, a bit flat, the crowd might go a bit down. If you've got something like a sleeper lock in the middle, or a chin lock in the middle of the ring, you need something to talk about other than the fact there's a bloody chin lock going on in the middle of the ring. So you can bring up the facts about their matches and about when they made their debut, for example, how they fought this year, their feuds, if this match has ever happened before, etc., etc., etc. Just overload on information, so you've always got something to go back to. It's one of the reasons that cost me my Great Bear job, because what I used to do for Great Bear was, because of a lot of the people that wrestled for Great Bear also wrestled for Future Shock. So I would talk about, if, say, for example, this match has happened at Future Shock, I would say how that's happened, why, that this match has happened before, and wrestler X was victorious on that night. So, wrestler Y will have that in the back of his mind. He'll know how wrestler X beat him, etc., etc. I got fired for that. Well, that's one of the main reasons why they let me go, because they thought I was trying to get the Future Shock gig, which of course I'm not. And secondly, they said, one of the things they said on their statement was that I put Future Shock above their storylines. The thing is, they never told me any of the storylines that I was expected to talk about, because I mean, I haven't been to a Great Bear show for a good couple of months now, but at the time, there wasn't any storylines. This match would happen for no reason at all. So you'd be talking about, so literally, think about it, right? Imagine this, you've got Wrestler X versus Wrestler Y, right? They're having a match. There's been no run-ins, there's been no promos on each other, there's nothing, there's no reason for this match to happen. So once you've talked about where they're from or what their styles are about, what do you then talk about to tell the story of the match? I mean, what have you got? You've got nothing at all. So I remember when I started at Great Bear, I talked to the promoter and said, right, at GPW, no other promotion exists. That's the rule. So you talk about everything. Remember what I was talking about before? They're matches that happened in the past. That's all in GPW time, yeah? Whereas I sat down with the promoter and I said, right, are we allowed to talk? And I remember when I say we, I mean me and Bobby Cash, who were the commentary team at the time. Are we allowed to talk about any other promotions? You know, excuse me, that's very, very gassy. Even if it is full of energy, making me go rah! Inside. Yeah. Well, come on. Yeah, I asked if we're allowed to talk about any other promotions, and then he said, look, talk about whoever you want. So I did. I would talk about wherever, you know, if these two guys have had matches in 4 different promotions, I would say each one why it happened and when, you know, because it's a good thing to be able to talk about. If you've got nothing to talk about, then you're stumped. One of the things I love about GPW is it's very rare that matches happen without any purpose, you know. You know, at the next show we're doing, which is next Friday, there's 3 matches been announced so far. All of them are continuity storyline-wise from the last show. Happy days. It makes it so easy. And that's the thing I love more than anything else, storyline-based wrestling. That's why I love Future Shock, because every match at Future Shock has got a purpose. This match is happening. Apart from maybe they do 8-man tags from time for most shows, but they're just like, right, you want to see this guy? Well, here he is, an 8-man tag. And I don't remember seeing a bad 8-man tag match at Future Shock, you know? So you're never going to go, oh no, this match. But like, for example, you know, when you see this, which is Sunday, you know, Future Shock is tonight, and every match that's on the card tonight makes sense. Every single one, which I love. So yeah, to answer your question, I'm not told to say anything. It's not like we sit down at the start of a show, you know, at the beginning of, before a show, sorry, and the promoter says to me, right, Mark, this is what I want to talk about, this match, this is what I want to, and we don't have headsets, so that's the other thing, so it'd be very hard to communicate something. I suppose if the promoter wanted me to say a specific thing in a match, you know, I'll probably get a tap on my shoulder, turn around and hand me a bit of paper, make sure you say this in a match. That's never happened. So, you know, well, like I say, to answer your question, I get in touch with the promotion and say, normally on the Monday, if the show's on a Friday, I'll normally get in touch on the Monday, because that's when I start doing my notes. I give myself a week to do my, you know, 5 days, sorry, before a show to do my notes. And what I normally do is I'll normally do like a match a day, maybe on Monday I'll do 2 matches, and then for the rest of the week I'll do a match a day until Friday afternoon when I'm doing, it's just in case anything changes on the show. I don't want to do all my notes and then I have to go, oh, for fuck's sake, I've got to do it all again, you know, that sort of thing. So yeah, there we go. I don't know how long that was, but yeah, we're about, I'd say we're about 3/4 of the way through. Yeah, I reckon in part 4 we can get the rest of this finished, which will be fantastic. 4 parts, so 4 hours of me waffling on about nothing at all, and you watched it all. Who's the sucker now, folks? Anyway, I've been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching this. My next vid will be a Raw / Future Shock 71 review. I haven't done a Brit Rest review for a long, long time, so I'm actually looking forward to doing that a great deal. I've been Mark P. Hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Please leave me a comment if there's anything I've said. Please don't hate me too much for what I said about Raw. I'm probably going to regret that. I'm going to be nervous about looking on this vid just to see what people have thought about that. So, yeah, not good. So anyway, I've been Mark P. Thank you so much for watching this episode. A question mark. I will see you all very soon. Thank you very much for watching one more time. And bye-bye.